Good evening. Thank you all for tuning in tonight and for being so raring to go, as I can see in the chat. I don't know if I endorse these Red Bull tequila slammers, but again, I do love the energy. Does the candle lighting thing still make sense when you can't see the candle in front of me in the foreground of the shot? It used to be right there. The arrangement doesn't really work that way anymore. Whatever, that's okay. Again, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is Hoff's Public Domain Horrorfest. I am your host, Hoff Matthews, and this is, of course, a live comedy show and horror movie screening series. We show a horror movie and we break it up with live comedy host segments like what you're seeing right now. We used to do this physically live in Brooklyn, but of course we had to stop doing indoor screenings due to COVID-19. And I actually left New York City and came here to my ancestral estate of Hoff Manor to ride out the pandemic here in my haunted mansion. You like the candle? Okay, good. Glad to hear it. And yeah, we're doing the show online now, and because we're online, to avoid copyright violations, we are showing exclusively older classic horror movies which have fallen into the public domain, including tonight's selection, Horror Express. This is from 1972, and this is a movie that I actually had not been that familiar with up until relatively recently. I watched it for the first time last month, and it is super fun, guys. I think you're really going to have a good time with this. It is a Spanish-British co-production from the Spanish director Eugenio Martin, which doesn't sound like the right way to pronounce his name, but that's how they say it on the Blu-ray features, so that's what I'm saying. And starring Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, and Telly Savalas, who we'll talk about more in depth later on in the show. And this is a movie about an ancient life form discovered in an icy cave in the first decade of the 20th century, the 1900s, I guess, and transported on a trans-Siberian train journey where all hell breaks loose. Lots of twists and turns in this film, and I don't want to give away too much. But obviously, Horror Express is part of the grand tradition of transportation-based horror movies, which also includes stuff like The Car, Ghost Ship, if any of you remember that, Snakes on a Plane, classic example, Unicycle of Terror, Wolf Walker, and of course, Death Segway, the true story of the Segway company owner who died by driving his Segway off a cliff. So, lots of great examples of this format. And, you know, that's actually something that I think is really great about the horror genre generally, is that you can generate this infinite amount of premises and stories just by mixing and matching a few simple variables. Like Horror Express, for example, the premise is basically monster on a train. It's actually more than that, but again, without giving away too much, just from the offset, monster on a train. Very simple. And what we've done is actually put together a horror movie plot generator, which we're going to use with you guys interactively to start off the show here. So we set up three basic elements, which we're going to be mixing and matching. We have the threat, and we have 10 examples of horror movie threats, such as ghosts and zombies and slashers and the like. We have a weird discovery, which could set the plot in motion. I don't actually have enough space on the screen to show me and the text at the same time, so I'm going to try to squeeze into the middle here. But you've got, your ancient amulet, your cursed book, your magic sword, what have you. And we've got a creepy environment or location where the story could take place, a mining tunnel, a space station, wherever. And the way this works is you guys in the chat can give me a 3-digit number, maybe your area code, or if you don't want to share that, just any 3-digit number, and from that number, we can generate a premise for a horror movie. And just from these options, and this is a limited amount of options we're giving you, but just these can generate up to 1,000 films. For example, the area code of my hometown in Connecticut is 203. So working off of this system, it's 2 is slasher, O is ancient amulet, and 3 is deep in the forest. And so the movie that would give you is Homicidal Chaos in the Woods, about some campers who discover an amulet which summons a slasher who goes after them. That sounds pretty good, right? That's a good movie off the bat. Okay, I see 718 Brooklyn, New York City. Is that a Brooklyn area code? Or anyway, it's definitely New York City representing. And that, as you can see, is a vampire sect, a cursed book, and in ruins, an ancient castle. Right. So you gotta let me let the generator work here, but that would be, let's see. Okay, hold on for a second. It's processing. That would be Sanguinary Tome of the Ruins. People are in a castle, they discover this book, and maybe they read a spell, and these vampires come after them. Very scary. Next one, we're not going to get through all these, but 843, that is going to be, let's see, werewolves and a cursed monkey's paw. Okay, so that's going to be... That will be Lupine Curse of the Depths. That is... oh, no, wait, did I misread that? No, I did not. Yeah, Lupine Curse of the Depths. We have people find a monkey's paw in the forest, and it summons werewolves. This is a very animalistic concept we have here. How am I doing it? It's just it's the magic of the algorithm that we set up. All right, I'm gonna do 213. That's gonna be. I'm not gonna write out the titles because that takes too long, but that will be. Homicidal Tome in the Woods, I believe. People are in the woods and they find a book which has instructions for how to kill people, and they hadn't been killing people their whole lives because they didn't really know how to do it. But now they've got this book and they're like, screw it, let's give it a shot, And yes, as we're noting in the chat, all of these are good movies. I would watch any of these if I saw these at a video store or on a streaming queue. I would definitely check them out. So I realize I didn't get to all of these. I apologize. But, you can look at the lists and sort of mix and match some of this for yourself. And, if anybody out there is an aspiring horror mogul and you're thinking of making some horror films yourself, hopefully we gave you a jump start there. And if you do end up making these movies, please let me know. I would love to see them. And, maybe we can screen them on the show. That's really the reason that we were doing this concept, is to generate more fodder for Hoff's Horrorfest. So thank you all for participating. And we are just a second from now going to start the film, but I do want to note today is the birthday of Hank Hoffman, a certain relation of mine who created the music which plays at the beginning and the end of the show. And for his birthday, he is doing a fundraiser for Best Video Film and Cultural Center in Connecticut. I'm going to put the link to the fundraiser in the chat here. And if you're not familiar, Best Video is basically a non-profit video rental store in Connecticut. I'm not saying this just to be nice. I would put their library, their selection of films, up against any streaming service, any outlet you can name. It's really an incredible resource. They've been, holding up all right through the pandemic so far, and we want to keep it that way. So if you want to support Best Video and the person who brought you the Hoff's Horrorfest theme music, check out that link and throw some money in there. Last thing I'll say before we start the film is that, as always, me and my co-producers, Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett, have added a few things to what you're watching. Not that much. Most of what you see will just be the original Horror Express from 1972, but there are some Easter eggs scattered throughout, so keep an eye out for those. I will be back on for another host segment in about 15 minutes, but for now, please enjoy Act 1 of Horror Express.
The following report to the Royal Geological Society by the undersigned Alexander Saxton is a true and faithful account of events that befell the Society's expedition in Manchuria. As the leader of the expedition, I must accept responsibility for its ending in disaster, but I will leave to the judgment of the honorable members the decision as to where the blame for the catastrophe lies.
I'm sorry, there isn't a seat left.
My name is Saxton, Alexander Saxton. If you will check, you will find a telegram I sent you 3 weeks ago instructing you to reserve accommodation for me.
There's nothing I can do. Hello? Yes.
The bag you saw that anyway.
Yes.
Well, look who's here. Professor Saxton, I presume.
Dr. Wells.
And what are you doing in Shanghai?
I've asked you the same thing.
Oh, I'm just collecting a few specimens. Miss Jones, let me introduce Professor Alexander Saxton. He dabbles in fossils and bones.
Glad to meet you, Professor.
How do you do?
Miss Jones has been assisting me. Bacteriology, excellent technician.
For a woman, he means.
求亲啊，叫入名，第五，凹记呢？
泰国开始传统。Excuse me. 2 private compartments to Moscow, if you please.
2, you say? Will that be all?
And 3 crates of animals.
Impossible.
I know I'm asking you to perform miracles, but perhaps it will help.
And in Britain, we call it bribery and corruption. Now, sir, excuse me.
You... Get out!
Huh? Sir Alexander Saxton?
Yes?
Captain O'Higgins, sir. General Wang told me to find you, and to make myself useful.
Now I remember. I do have your Excellency's ticket. Your ticket, right here.
Thank you.
And the Lord have mercy on his soul.
Not that he deserves it, a dirty thief. You have his things?
You knew him?
Krasinski, the locksmith, he could open any trunk with a hairpin.
A thief? But he was blind.
Blind, he could spot a policeman a mile away. I'll be damned.
The work of the devil.
Can I be of any assistance, Father?
This is yours.
It is, but I demand an explanation.
Whatever you have here is unholy and must be destroyed.
Inspector Mirov, what is in there, Excellency?
Fossils.
What is a fossil?
A stone.
Stones.
There wouldn't be something valuable in there, like gold.
Gold? It's a laboratory specimen. No value to a thief.
Where there is God, there is always a place for the cross. Even on this stone floor, just so. But Satan is evil. And where evil is, there is no place for the cross.
Rubbish. A conjurer's trick. Captain?
Yes, sir.
Would you get your men to put the crate on a train?
Ready? Lift it up. Off you go.
Where's crate C?
It's all there, sir.
Oh, yeah. I want to be careful with this one.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Follow me.
what are you going to astound the scientific world with this time?
You'll read about it in the Society's annual report. It's a remarkable fossil.
Fossil? But you've got something live in there, I heard it.
You're mistaken.
You won't need to feed it then.
The occupant hasn't eaten in 2 million years.
That's one way to economize on food bills.
Baggage man. Alinka, what's the matter with you?
Yes, Countess?
You have a safe of valuables?
Yes, Countess. I shall make out a receipt.
Excuse me. Alinka's afraid of something. What do you have in that crate?
Oh, nothing that would interest Alinka, madame.
Normally she likes Englishmen. All we Poles do.
I am honored, madame.
Oh yes, England. Queen Victoria, crumpets, Shakespeare.
I admire Poland, madame. I believe that there is a bond between our countries.
My husband, the Count Petrovsky, says that in the 15th century, your King Henry betrayed us to the Russians.
I hope that you and your husband, madame, will accept my profoundest apologies.
Oh, she's really afraid. I wonder what it is.
May I escort you back to your carriage, madame? Yours?
Oh, thank you. Excuse me.
Yes?
I was on the platform before when that mad monk was carrying on.
Yes?
I'm an engineer, a scientist. And this is ordinary chalk. How do you explain it's not writing on that crate?
Hypnosis, yoga. These mystics can be very convincing. They can even hypnotize themselves.
The fresh food we will pick up. Who will pay for it, sir?
Oh, just give me an account of how much you spend. If someone were to drill a little hole in this crate during the night and take a look at what's inside, I'd be very grateful.
I'm gonna tell people online that this is happening. I'm gonna hop on the old Twitter. Moving over to twitch.tv/Hoff Matthews. Tweet. Guys, this is the joy of a live show. You never know what might happen. The show not happening, that might happen, and indeed it is. Well, it's not, because we're still doing it here. Okay. All right, we are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. Thank you all for following me over here to this other platform. And hope you're enjoying the film so far. Obviously, it starts out introducing this wonderful ensemble of interesting characters, including Father Pujardov, this Eastern Orthodox monk who accuses Professor Saxton of traveling with an unholy parcel. He's very freaked out about it. And as you just heard, Saxton responds by saying the monk is just tricking people with hypnosis, or yes, that's right, yoga. He's using yoga to fool people. So given that this is obviously, not the most positive portrayal of yoga on screen, I thought it was only right to provide a counterpoint. And in fact, I thought it might be fun to actually have a yoga instructor on and lead us all in a live remote session on the show here tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a Zoom meeting that I have open right now with the yoga instructor Kelly Doyle, as well as two of my co-producers on the show, George Gordon and Andrei Alupului. George and Dre, say hi to everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
There you go. And if you're following along at home, feel free to, do what we're doing and take part. Kelly, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Hoff. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super flattered. Namaste.
Namaste to you, too. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So I have been leading Millennial yoga classes for the last 10 months. I had started teaching in-person classes when the pandemic hit. Super bummer. So I decided to create a safe virtual space for mindfulness, togetherness, and clarity for the millennial generation. Because when you've been bombarded by something as icky as plague, and you don't have a safe space for your consciousness, it can really weigh you down. So it just made sense to share my mind and my heart with my community. And we also offer really cool discounts to the Williamsburg Juice Palace Squeeze Me for everyone who signs up for a year-long membership at $2,200 a month. Basically, it's a virtual yoga experience that does more than stretch your body. I stretch your mind.
That's really interesting. So obviously the film sort of portrays yoga as this form of hypnosis or mind control. Is that in line with the idea of stretching the mind, or no?
No. There's no hypnosis in yoga. It's a practice that leads to a more centered and calm way of being, It's like a way of shushing the crazy stuff in your mind while focusing on your body. Like this exercise, for example. I invite you to take this journey. You're going to inhale and exhale. Very good. You're going to roll your right ear over your right shoulder and inhale. That feels so good. Oh my God. Exhale. And you're going to roll around to the other side and inhale. You're doing so well. Exhale. Come back to center. And then you're going to inhale and lift your arms up to the ceiling, all the way up to the stars, y'all. And then you're going to exhale, bringing your arms back down. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself with a mustache.
Kelly, did you say mustache?
Yes. See yourself with this big bristly mustache and a fur hat. It's cold outside, but you're nice and warm in your train compartment with the archaeological find of the century.
Kelly, I don't really see what this has to do with the... Oh my God!
Little men who fear what you yearn to know
What?
are but mere insects compared to your genius. Your colleagues at the society will never doubt your scientific prowess again.
There's a mustache here.
What the hell just happened?
Oh my God, Kelly, this is incredible.
Millennial Yoga accepts all major credit cards, PayPal and
Wow, I guess yoga is really a lot more powerful than I thought. I hope everyone following along at home is all right. Sorry about all the crazy stuff we're having happen on the show tonight. Let's just watch some more of the movie for now.
It's in order.
Help me.
In what way, madam?
Is this number 8?
That's next door, Wells compartment.
There, don't cry. Everything will be all right.
Excuse me.
Sorry, dear fellow, I'm afraid you're in the wrong pew. Here, number 8, do you see?
8A, lower berth. 8B, upper berth.
Don't worry. Look here. I was supposed to have this compartment to myself.
If you don't mind.
I'm sorry if I'm in your way.
Excuse me. I have no ticket and I have to get out of Shanghai. I'm sure I can make it worth your while.
The young lady's in trouble.
Well, what do you suggest we do about it?
Couldn't you double up with somebody else?
Miss Jones?
Steady.
I'm sure we can all get along very well together.
When the Englishman comes to call, what should I wear?
Sure of yourself, aren't you? The blue one with the décolleté. Or perhaps the red one.
You're jesting with her immortal soul.
That's why we keep you, Pujardov. Our immortal souls are your concern.
She's afraid of something.
Tell me, Pujardov.
Yes.
Which do you think I should wear for the Englishman? The red or the blue?
Enough. I forbid you to talk this way.
You forbid?
Forgive me, Your Excellency. My concern for the spiritual welfare of the Countess, I forgot myself. I will pray for humility.
Pray hard, Bajardov, or you'll find yourself praying for a job, too.
Dear Father, Son, Ghost.
Oh, it's the piece I was playing. I wonder who it is.
Wish to see us?
I thought one of you might know what happened to the baggage man.
I haven't the remotest idea.
What about you?
Perhaps it had something to do with what's inside that crate.
I agree with you. He was trying to open it when something happened.
What? Fortunately, he was interrupted.
Yes. By whom? Why are you so worried about it being opened?
It may be my fault. I asked the baggage man to take a look. I was curious.
It was no concern of yours. Or of yours. Good night.
One man dead, another missing. It's time we open this box.
You'll do no such thing.
Give me the key. See if you can open the crate with that. Go ahead!
The baggage man.
What was in there?
I told you, a fossil, part ape, part man. It lived 2 million years ago.
Are you telling me that an ape that lived 2 million years ago got onto that crate, killed the baggage man and put him in there, then locked everything up neat and tidy and got away?
Yes, I am. It's alive. It must be.
Lock him up. We'll search the train and find it, whatever it is, and destroy it.
But if it's alive...
I want this kept quiet. I don't want to panic the passengers.
My glass is empty.
Oh, forgive me. My mind was elsewhere.
What is it?
I'm sorry. I can't tell you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Haven't we met?
I don't believe so.
Yes, at the governor's palace, General Wang.
You're mistaken.
Of course, I beg your pardon. It was somebody else. What's the matter?
The eye of that fish. It's white.
Naturally, it's boiled.
Boiled. Yes.
Is it true you're a doctor?
Ask me when I finish my dinner.
It's urgent.
What are the symptoms?
He's dead. You saw him.
Oh, that one. There's nothing I can do for him.
Now there's one more dead. One of my soldiers. The same white eyes. I want to know the cause of death. Who's dead? Keep your nose out of it. You didn't hear anything.
Excuse me. Is Professor Sexton's fossil still at large?
I think the fossil, or whatever it is, escaped. Jumped off the train.
Miss Jones, I shall need your assistance.
Yes, well, at your age, I'm not surprised.
With an autopsy.
Oh, well, that's different.
Very curious.
A genetic defect, obviously.
Scalpel?
Mm-hmm.
Can you keep that still?
Mm.
What is he doing?
Trepan. Don't get up, please. I see you have decided to dine alone, Sir Alexander.
I've eaten in worse circumstances and in worse company.
Burn some.
Here you are, Doctor. You're in bad humor because you've lost your box of balls. Hmm?
That box of bones, madame, could have solved many of the riddles of science. If the theory of evolution is confirmed, if the science of biology is revolutionized, if the very origin of man is determined.
I have heard of evolution. It's immoral.
It's a fact. And there's no morality in a fact.
And what about the baggage man? And that poor thief at the station?
What about them?
They are dead. Was your creature responsible for that?
Probably.
And you don't care?
A baggage man and a thief. You're right, madame. I don't care as much as I should.
Can you tell me how he died?
Smooth as a baby's bottom.
You saw this man today and he was normal.
Absolutely.
It must be a mutation, a freak of nature.
What's so special about this brain?
Learning and memory are engraved on the normal brain, leaving a wrinkled surface. This brain has been drained. The memory has been removed, like chalk erased from a blackboard.
Yes. Thank you, Marybess. The brain in Spain drains mainly on the train, as they say. I want to take this break to talk a little bit about the two main stars of this film, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, playing Professor Saxton and Dr. Wells, respectively. Now, we probably have some horror movie fans watching tonight, so you might be familiar with these guys. Some of you are maybe wondering, where do I know these actors from? And if that is the case, I have a clue. Don't take down my stream for singing that song. That's right, it's the Star Wars theme song. They're both in the Star Wars franchise, both playing villains, actually. Peter Cushing played Grand Moff Tarkin in the original trilogy, as John of the Vale was noting in our chat there. And Christopher Lee played Count Dooku in the prequels, a scary character with a very scary, intimidating sounding name. But their work together stretches back way before Star Wars. In fact, the first film that Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee appeared in together was the Laurence Olivier Hamlet in 1948, followed by Moulin Rouge, the 1952 version, and Alexander the Great in 1956. But the thing that they were most known for before Star Wars was the wave of horror films from the British Hammer Film Studio, which presented its own takes on all the classic monsters, beginning with Curse of Frankenstein in 1957, in which Christopher Lee played the monster and Peter Cushing played Dr. Frankenstein. And they were in tons of those Hammer movies, and ultimately ended up being in a total of 24 films together, which is, really an incredible thing. I mean, that's like if Robert Redford and Paul Newman, who did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Sting, then went on to do Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid 2, Electric Boogaloo, and I Still Know That the Sting Is Not Over, and then repeated that formula like 20 more times. Like, you never see a working relationship like that. And in fact, the story of Horror Express specifically is really interesting because Peter Cushing, not long before this film went into production, his wife of many years passed away, and he was very, very sad, very broken up about this. And he went to, I guess, Spain, where they were filming, to meet with the producer in person and say, look, I didn't want to say this over the phone, but I can't do this job. I'm not up to working right now. I'm just too sad over losing my wife. And Christopher Lee went and met with him and seemingly basically said, look, you should do this movie. We're good friends. We go back such a long way. We're going to have fun doing this, and it'll be good for you to do. And Peter Cushing, after that, according to the director, just showed up and did his part as though he had never quit in the first place, which might remind you of another beloved screen icon. And there's actually even more to the story. This part, I haven't been able to confirm that this part is true from like an authoritative source, but a lot of people say that while the film was in production, Cushing was still so broken up that he was having night terrors, and Christopher Lee would actually sleep in the same room or maybe sometimes even bed with him to comfort him and calm him down. Again, I can't confirm that part's actually true and not apocryphal. The idea of Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing sleeping in the same bed, maybe it sends some of your minds down a certain path. I did actually put together a Photoshop, sort of an illustration for those of you who are now kind of imagining certain slash-fic scenarios involving these guys. But then I was like, I don't know, maybe it's just crass to have like a visual gag based on this very sweet story of these two guys supporting each other. So, but then I was like, I don't know, who am I to judge people who are, what people are turned on by? So, I don't know. If you want to see the Photoshop, sound off in the chat and I'll put it up. If you think it's in bad taste, we don't have to do it, and that's fine. But what's interesting about this, to come back to Star Wars, is that even though they were both in those movies, I'm seeing some enthusiasm in the chat. Okay, I'll put it up. Yeah, there you go. So, just something to think about. Hopefully you guys don't regret asking for that. Certainly you can't unsee it now. So, yeah. But anyway, they were both in Star Wars, like I said, and they were never in it together because they were both in different timelines of the franchise. So unfortunately, we never got the chance to see Peter Cushing say, "I think you overestimate their chances," and Christopher Lee respond, "This is just the beginning." Not a very good Cushing, but I think that was an okay Lee, actually, if I may say for myself. So, little information about them, and now let's enjoy some more of their work in this next part of the film.
Come in.
Thank you. It's all yours.
I won't be long.
Miss, it's Dr. Wells. Miss, are you all right?
Yes? Are you there?
Come in.
Feeling better?
Yes. Anything wrong?
That woman who was killed. The engineer, you know, the chess player. He told me that she was an international spy.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you do? Well, could that fact have had anything to do with her death?
What do you think?
Dr. Wells and I performed an autopsy on her. Her brain was completely smooth, just like the baggage man's. Everything had been erased. Now, I have a theory about this.
I'm only a policeman, Professor. I don't have much education.
Well, I'd make it simple. Supposing that creature, the one you killed, was capable of taking ideas directly from other people's brains and transferring them to its own.
You mean it sucked other people's brains?
Absorbed through the eyes. That was our first clue, the eyes going white.
Then, if the beast had absorbed your brains, all of your education would have gone into its brain. It would have been as clever as you.
Much more so, because what it had taken from me would have been added to the learning that it already had.
Professor, spy, baggage man, and thief. What was the creature looking for?
Well, that we'll never know, now that it's dead. And yet...
What?
A creature like that. How would it ever die?
Inspector?
What is it?
I found this. The animal had it.
The animal had it?
Give it to me. It belonged to Count Petrovsky.
How do you know?
I saw him put it in the safe.
Steel, harder than a diamond. That's why the spies are after it. French, German, English. But they're wasting their time. What really matters is the formula. And that gentleman is safe. Up here.
What happened to the girl? The spy?
She's dead. The fossil, or whatever it was, killed her. But there's no more danger, Countess.
Beast is not dead.
I put 4 bullets into him.
You think evil can be killed with bullets? Satan lives. The unholy one is among us. Oh, Shamo, Shamo,
Specimen jar.
What do you expect to find in the eye fluid?
I don't know.
This is incredible. What? Why, it's the last thing the creature saw.
The police inspector.
The image has been retained in the fluid.
Exactly. The creature's visual memory is located not in its brain, but in the eye itself. You identify anything?
It's a brontosaurus. A pterodactyl.
Incredible.
This is not a map.
It can only be the Earth, seen from space.
I hope I'm not intruding. People on the train are becoming afraid, Professor.
People on long journeys become bored, madame. They crave excitement.
Then there's no more danger.
It's all finished.
And what about your science? The evolution you were talking about.
Look for yourself.
Come here, Pujado. There's something I want to show you. Look.
Oshamoy. It is the Holy Rite. On the second day, he created the earth. Where did you get it?
There, from the creature's eye.
The eye of Satan.
Nonsense. There's a scientific explanation. You
know it?
No. Not yet.
For the fall. For Satan was banished from the throne of God. The evil one looked down from heaven and did see.
Rubbish!
Bojardov! Bojardov! Where is he?
I don't know.
He's gone mad.
I'll look in the baggage car.
Right.
Looking for the thief, Miss Jones?
You know about it.
What's all the fuss?
You get back that eye, and there's 1,000 rubles in it for you.
1,000 rubles for an eye?
There's something in it. Pictures.
Pictures of what?
Pictures of the Earth in prehistoric times. Pictures of the Earth seen from space.
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxton, and that pretty countess.
I see. Nothing in your head of any use? Another killing.
All right. Clearly, the plot is thickening. And here in the real world, we are coming up on Valentine's Day. That's going to be this Sunday is Valentine's Day. If you didn't know that, if you're in a relationship or you have a partner or whatever, you're behind. You have some orders to place and such. But Valentine's Day is Sunday, and obviously Horror Express is not a particularly romantic movie. There's certain characters that maybe have some chemistry between each other. Maybe Lee and Cushing. I don't know, depending on your perspective. But still, we at Hoff's Horror Fest wanted to kind of get into the Valentine's Day spirit. And so what we did is we put together a bunch of Valentine's Day cards themed around the characters from Horror Express. Now, I'm going to put up just one of them right now. There you go. It's the monster from the movie, and it says, I've got my eye on you, because he's got the red eye there. And we have a bunch more of these. And if you would like us to email one to you, a different one from this, sign up for our email list at hoffshorrorfest@gmail.com, or there's also a Google form, which I have a link to, which I'm going to post in the chat here. Yeah, and we're not going to bother you a whole lot. We just send out pretty infrequent updates on upcoming shows. It's useful, especially when, we're on this monthly schedule rather than weekly, so that you know when the next show is going to be. And again, you sign up by emailing us or by going to that Google form. We'll send you your very own Horror Express themed Valentine's Day card for you, or maybe to pass along to that special someone in your life. So again, that's hoffshorrorfest@gmail, or the Google form there. This is our attempt to entice you this month. So happy Valentine's Day in advance to all you lovers out there, and let's see some more of the film.
Stop the train!
No right.
I want to get off!
There's no law.
Quiet. There's been talk about getting off the train. Well, you can forget it.
I'll complain to the authorities.
I'm not one of your musics.
If necessary, I'll shoot anyone who tries to stop the train.
Shoot! Shoot, you stupid Russian!
Who else has seen such pictures?
Dr. Wells, Professor Saxton, and that pretty countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Wells, Saxton, countess. Professor Saxton.
Wells, is this creature dead or not? If it is, who killed Miss Jones?
Do you have any idea?
No, Inspector, I haven't, but I've asked the conductor to wire ahead to stop the train at the next station.
What's the idea? Tell me who you are. Tell me, I will serve you. I want to help you.
It's like some contagious disease.
Well, if there's a disease, there must be symptoms.
Fever?
You could take everyone's temperature.
The eyes. Why do their eyes go white?
Do you think it's true what they say about those horrible white eyes?
Oh, that part is true enough.
Ah, Inspector. It's only you now.
What about me?
Your eyes. We must examine your eyes, too.
Certainly.
Perhaps you should test for radiation or other invisible rays.
X-rays? Well, it's a thought, but on this train, how would we go about it?
Are you a scientist?
An engineer, but I try to keep up with things.
That's to be admired.
Inspector, I suggest you tell all these people to stay together, in groups or in pairs, so that if anything does happen to anybody, then somebody can raise the alarm. On no account must anybody be left alone.
News of the train.
The train will be here in exactly 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what it says here. Doesn't say it in words, Your Honor, but in code. It's like another language.
I know about telegraphs, little papa. I know about trains. I know about electrical currents. On your feet, everybody! Outside, full pack! Even though I still believe in God, I don't like to be made a fool of.
No, Your Honor. I wouldn't do that.
Tell me, little father. You believe in the devil?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, good. Send a telegram. Tell him that Captain Kazan, he knows that a horse has 4 legs. He knows that a murderer has 2 arms. But still, the devil must be afraid of one honest Cossack,
Earth gravity. You know how to measure it?
How to measure gravity?
What I would like to know is, can gravity be overcome?
If you mean, can man get beyond the gravitational field of the Earth into space? Not yet, but any day now.
Someday?
There is a mathematics professor. His name is Tsiolkovsky. He has ideas about rockets. Machines that can fly free of the Earth's gravity.
You know him?
Tsiolkovsky was one of my teachers. He was like a father to me. But why would a man like you be interested?
do you think is behind all this, Excellency?
Look at this. That's what we saw under the microscope. It shows the Earth as it might look from space.
What does it mean?
It means that millions of years ago, some form of intelligence, came to the Earth from another planet. The atmosphere of the Earth was new to it, different. But it learned how to survive.
How?
By entering into the body and brain of an Earth creature. The fossil that I found and brought with me.
And this thing from another planet survived in the fossil, then came to life again?
Exactly.
Go on, Professor.
The animal that you shot was only the host. And when that animal died, the alien intelligence transferred somehow to another host. It's alive in someone on this train.
You're a very good detective. You discovered everything except who is now the host.
That's our next step.
Thought this might come in handy.
Oh, good idea.
The two of you together, that's fine. But what if one of you is the monster?
Monster? They're British, you know.
But you must have seen something.
I told you, I was asleep. He knew about the white eyes. He told me.
When you fell asleep, the lights were on. And when you woke up?
They were off.
Are you sure?
Positive. It was dark. I'd put the lights on. And that's when I found him beside me.
When we did the test, the lights were on.
Master.
Inspector.
This steel at high temperatures, what happens to it?
It gets stronger. What temperatures, for example?
10 or 12,000 degrees.
Where on earth would you get such temperatures?
Nowhere on earth.
Siberia.
I am in Siberia.
This is Countess Irina Petrovska, and I'm Count Marian Petrovsky.
Oh, Your Excellencies, I'm sorry. Of course, the Count and Countess are exempt from our orders. Please, escort them to their car. Peasants!
Are you a countess?
I'm an American, and I'm not accustomed to being bullied by foreigners. That man, he's the one who wouldn't let us get off the train. He's responsible.
Your Excellency, I'm a police inspector.
Everybody's under arrest! Including you. Who are the killers? Who are the troublemakers? Who are the foreign influences, huh? Oh!
Don't worry. I'll smoke them out. What's he raving about?
You English believe in free speech, don't you, huh?
Certainly. If instead of babbling nonsense, you'd investigate this properly.
Oh! This is outrageous. Oh!
So, you are a police inspector, huh?
Yes, Captain. Mirov is my name.
Mirov. Oh, Mirov. That's a good Russian name, Mirov. Tell me, Mirov, what do you know about all the filth that's going on here, huh?
Filth?
Oh, come on, Inspector. Certainly you know what I'm doing here, don't you? You just point out the suspects, and I promise you I'll get the truth out of them.
You're mistaken, sir.
Mistaken?
Fool!
Get back! Get back! Back! Or I will put a curse on your heads. He has the evil eye.
Huh?
Beware the wrath of Satan.
Cool, huh? On your knees, monk.
We must try and stop this.
He was trying to protect you. Why?
He's mad.
Who are you?
I told you, a policeman.
Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. Thy will be done on earth as it is in hell.
All right. Well, we are getting close to the end of the film here, guys. We will be getting to the Horror Host highlight reel in just a minute, but first, I want to take note of the fact that, as you guys noticed in the chat, Telly Savalas has finally arrived in this movie. And he provides a real change of tone, but if you're into it, as it seems like you guys are, he's really a lot of fun. And right now I'm going to bring on one of my co-producers, George Gordon, to talk a little bit more about his performance in this movie. So just give me a second to bring up the Zoom window here. Second, folks. Oop, not that one. Oh, wait, hold on. Second. Is this it? Oh, wait, what the hell? There we go. That's good. All right, George, hello.
Hoff, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, what's up, man? What's going on?
Just, enjoying Horror Express.
Oh, man, it is so good to be here. And as you can see, I have dressed for the occasion.
Yeah, well, you look great. I hope you're limbered up from the yoga earlier.
Oh, man, dude, when you look good and you feel good at the same time, nothing can be better.
That's very true. So Telly Savalas, he's in this movie. Some people say he's great in it. Some people have found him a little distracting. Some people wonder what exactly movie he's supposed to be in. Talk a little bit more about Captain Kazan, please.
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something, bud. It's like what Telly is doing here is what I like to call going for it. Telly Savalas is out here Telly Savalasing, and I am here for that.
So you're a fan.
Oh, absolutely. It's Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Caging. It's John Travolta, John Travolta. It's Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, Caging and Travolta in the same movie together, and it predates both of them. He's the GOAT, the greatest of all time of overacting, which brings me to why I'm dressed up. Hop, hop, hop. I'm here to nominate and then posthumously award the Golden Scenery Award for overacting to the one, to the only, Telly Savalas.
Wow, the Golden Scenery Award. It's got the bite taken out of it on the side and everything there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. In fact, the word overacting has been replaced with Telly Savalasing.
Wow, what an honor. I'm so glad we could bestow it here on the show tonight. George, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, George Gordon, everyone. And as I said, it is now time for the Horror Host Highlight Reel. And if you've never watched this show before, the idea here is basically that all of the movies we show in this online version of the show are in the public domain. They've been in the public domain for a while, which means that a lot of hosts before me have done screenings of them on late night local TV or on the internet or wherever. So rather than pretending we're doing some new, unique thing here, we like to pay tribute to the tradition that this show is a part of by showing a montage of other horror hosts hosting the film of the night. And that's what we're going to do right now. So this is our highlight reel of other horror hosts hosting Horror Express.
Woo woo! Here comes the Horror Express!
Well, tonight we're about to ride the tracks of terror as we board the Horror Express.
Hey gang, it's Dr. Madblood here, inviting you to join me for Dr. Madblood's Halloween Horror Express.
Today, I thought we would watch one of my favorite movies of all time, The Horror Express.
Horror Express.
Horror Express.
The Horror Express.
Horror Express.
Horror Express.
The Horror Express.
Horror Express.
Horror Express.
Horror Express.
Horror Express.
Horror Express. Horror Express.
Horror Express. Panic on the Trans-Siberian Express, otherwise known as Horror Express.
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 It's kind of loosely based on The Thing. It's kind of like The Thing meets Murder on the Orient Express.
It's like they wanted to make Murder on the Orient Express, and then they were like, well, what if Rasputin was in that?
If you're looking for a scary film, you're on the right track.
I used to be a conductor. That was until my boss figured out I wasn't trained.
Oh, God, where was I? I must have lost my train of thought.
You're about to spend 2 hours with an old fossil. And I don't mean the person sitting next to you.
Traveling is no fun at all if you can't have deep regrets and anxiety.
What transportation-based horror films are still out there for the taking? How about Bus of Doom,
Satan Scooter in 3D?
It's the Crypt Keeper.
Welcome, kiddies. He's so cool in this movie,
Yes,
like it's fucking crazy.
Sabala's party!
Sabala's
party!
Woohoo!
If the creature transferred his mind into the inspector, why is one of his arms all hairy like that?
Shut up, that's why.
The thing it was from another planet, and it could be anything. It could be a horror host who comes on and introduces movies, yes. Don't worry unless someone's eyes start glowing or something, you know.
Peter Cushing's wife just passed away a few months before they started filming Horror Express, and Peter was devastated. In fact, when Peter would go to bed, he would wake up and have these night terrors and panic attacks, and Christopher Lee would actually sleep with Peter and calm him down. I know a lot of fleshies out there are feeling bad, they're sad or depressed or whatever, and they can't get outside and do the stuff that fleshies normally do. But understand that you're not the only one, and when you're feeling bad and you're really down, go find your Christopher Lee. Okay, go find someone that will be your rock and help you get through this time. And imagine it's, we're here now, but maybe in a year or two we'll be somewhere else.
Watch the movie. It's good.
And indeed, we are going to watch the rest of the movie. So please enjoy the truly thrilling conclusion of Horror Express.
Now anything that moves near that door, kill it!
But what if the monk is innocent?
We got lots of innocent monks. All right, let's move these peasants out of here, quickly!
There. He always kills in the dark. He can't play his little tricks in a strong light. The others.
What about you?
I'll be all right. Go on.
Will you take this?
Right.
You know, in spite of everything, Pujatov had a certain affection for you. Yet you humiliated him often, even in front of the Countess. It's too late.
I see you hanged.
The poor monk. He loved you more than he loved the promise of heaven.
Over there. Quickly, over there. You've been behind me.
It would be a mistake to kill me.
Who are you?
In words, it's difficult. I am a form of energy occupying this shell.
Where do you come from?
Another galaxy. I came with others like myself. I was left behind. An accident. I survived in protozoans, fish, vertebrates. The history of your planet is part of me. Pull the trigger, and you will end it.
What am I to do with you?
Let me go.
That's not possible.
It is possible. I will teach you to end disease, pain, hunger.
Wait!
There's something more.
God! Stand back, please. Make room.
Bosco says to stop the express when it goes through the switching point.
Really? That means killing everybody on board.
That's what it says. Maybe there's a war. Maybe it's war.
There you go. That is Horror Express. I hope you all enjoyed the film and the show. Thank you all for tuning in, especially for sticking with us after that technical mishap earlier. We will be back next month on March 17th, which is, of course, St. Patrick's Day. We're doing a St. Patrick's Day show, and we are screening, of course, what else? Dementia 13, Francis Ford Coppola's debut feature about a series of murders in an old Irish castle. That is our St. Patrick's Day show, Wednesday, March 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you all can join us for that. I've been your host, Hoff Matthews. My co-producers on this show are Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett. And I do want to end things on sort of a serious note, if it's not too jarring at this point. This show is dedicated to my Aunt Leela, who passed away last month. She was a really wonderful person in a lot of ways, and just to give one very minor example that relates to the show, she did once let me watch a double feature of The Shining and Alien when I was at an age that some might consider inappropriately young, but it is genuinely a cherished memory of mine, and she is really sorely missed. So, again, thank you all for tuning into the show tonight. I hope we see you next month, and have a good night, everyone.